So looking forward into 2021 and beyond, we recently did a strategy session where we fast forwarded 5 years and said, what is it that we think our clients will be needing from us in 2025? And we've really cemented around building digital trust as what we aim to be heading towards by 2025, and obviously we'll be building that up over the next few years. And the thinking there is that with increasing digital adoption, with increasing reliance on systems, with systems moving to the cloud, how does business management and risk managers get the trust that they need within the systems? Everyone is entirely reliant on their systems, entirely reliant on their data. So how do we get a view that the right people have access to the data, that we are compliant with legislations and regulations, that we aren't going to have a data breach, we aren't going to have our systems hit by ransomware, all of which could be very, very devastating to our clients. So how do we build that digital trust? And it's evolving as technology is evolving, but that's what we're aspiring to be the advisors that can help our clients build trust in their digital environments. We're continuing to invest in the virtual office. I think that for us as a long-term strategy, we intend to grow geographically. So to have feet on the ground in the UK. We've got a number of other countries that we've earmarked for Mobius offices over the next 5 years. And really the thinking there is we've developed the intellectual property, we've developed world-class methodologies, we've got world-class subject matter experts, we've got the systems and the processes in the background to manage and to run effective consulting practices. We've proved that out in South Africa, in Mauritius. We're about to prove it out in the UK, and so one of the primary strategies is to continue to build out geographic expansion, where we identify a leader in a country, bring them on board, bring them into the kind of the Mobius way of doing things, the Mobius culture, and support them in terms of marketing and HR and intellectual property and access to subject matter experts, and have them build their own team in country that can then kind of service that sort of area. From a virtual office perspective, the virtual office will then complement that strategy. So it will service the areas where we don't have geographical presence. It will also serve as a precursor to a potential geographical sort of expansion. So if we're going into country X, how do we start marketing into country X? If there are some sort of early adopters for our services, we service them from the virtual office and ultimately kind of establish a practice. But it's a bit more of a soft landing for that future practice. From a group perspective, things that we're working out is kind of how the governance model will work between Mobius Holdings at the center and these various practices. What is the leaders' roles and responsibilities? How do we find those people? How do we incentivize them? How do we help them build their teams? What is the role of our shared service center that then becomes more of a global shared service center for all of these practices? So those are things that we're focusing on from what we call an incubator perspective. Really relaunching our penetration testing services. What we've seen during lockdown is the demand from outside of South Africa, which is where the testing team is at the moment, is probably equal, if not more than what we've seen in South Africa. So we're relaunching our penetration testing services to be globally focused. So that's going to be an exciting start to 2021. And then within the services that we're offering, obviously starting to head towards this digital trust, building digital trust. Really a big focus at the moment on third-party risk management and how do we build out the sort of the broader network of trust within corporates and through to their third parties and fourth parties and beyond. As I mentioned, the security testing has really been heightened in terms of the need for that service during lockdown. As people become more aware, or corporates have become more aware of the risks that they face through their systems, or the dependence that they have on their systems, the need for testing has really been highlighted. And then to start looking at how we can provide kind of assurance and some sort of certification in that digital trust. We are and will always be the consultants that actualize change and help our clients mature in terms of their information security and cyber security. But how do we get to a point where we can put a stake in the ground and say this is good enough? We can give you some sort of certificate or assurance or kind of report to say you're reached XYZ point that you can then share with your providers and clients, etc. So that's really where we're heading. Big sort of world domination plans, but I think in the space we play in privacy, in cybersecurity, in information security, in information risk, a lot of the problems and challenges are pervasive. They're not country specific, because there's no boundaries, as we've experienced during lockdown. Those geographical boundaries that we've placed on ourselves, we've actually broken through them as Mobius, and our clients will be breaking through them. So we can't just look at these things from a country specific perspective. We really need to take a global view, and we need to be able to provide services to our clients on a global basis in order to be relevant into the future.